Today I'm reading the final instalment of Running with the Horses. This is where we finished yesterday when they were crossing the pass and about to head down the other side. It was time for Carl to leave. The sky clouded over as they said goodbye. Carl knelt in the snow and hugged Nina. "I don't want you to go," she whispered. "Don't worry," he replied. "We'll ride together again when this war is over. I can see you will be a fine horsewoman." "She's like her mother," said Victor, "a natural rider." Nina couldn't speak and tears filled her eyes. Carl waved without looking back as he walked away, and they watched until he disappeared into the mist. When he was gone, the pass looked desolate and empty. "Come, Nina," Victor said, "we must keep riding." He helped her onto Zelda and ran a hand along the old mare's neck. "I hope she'll be all right," he said. "Ride close to me and the other horses will follow." As they began their descent down the other side, the snow was deep, almost up to the horses' bellies. Nina's feet felt frozen in her sodden boots, and Zelda's steps were weak and faltering. Suddenly Zelda stumbled and fell in the snow. Nina scrambled off her back. "Get up now, Zelda, get up." The mare groaned, and it was a terrible sound to hear. "Papa," Nina screamed, "help me." Sleet lashed her face, and the wind howled like a wolf. Nina cradled Zelda's lovely head and sobbed. Then Victor was by her side, shielding her from the weather. He looked down at his little girl, weeping over her fallen horse. "I'm sorry, Nina. I'm afraid this may be the end for your brave old mare." His voice was filled with sadness. "No," Nina shook her head. "No, no, no." Victor was silent for a moment. It was snowing hard now. If they left Zelda, she would be buried in no time. "You have to ride with me now, Nina. We must move on quickly or we will perish too. I have to get the stallions to safety." Nina looked hard at her father. "We have to help Zelda, Papa," she pleaded. "We can't desert her now. She saved our lives." Nina tried to brush the snow from Zelda's nose, but her hands felt like blocks of ice. She started to sob again, and the tears stung her face. Victor put his arms around his daughter. "All right," he said, "we will try. Help me push her." They rocked Zelda to and fro, but she was too exhausted to stand. "Please, Papa, you have to get her up." Victor put his arms under the mare's hindquarters and pushed with all his strength. "Come on, Zelda," Nina begged. "Come on." All at once, Zelda began to struggle and she scrambled onto shaky legs. "You've done it, Papa," Nina said. "She's standing. Will she be all right now?" "I don't know," he replied. "It's up to Zelda. We can't make her walk. She has to want to come with us." Victor lifted Nina onto his horse and they set off again. Nina turned and called, "Zelda, come." Zelda stood still and Nina's heart did too. Then the old mare took a step, then another and another. "Papa, look, she's following. Keep going, Zelda." In the evening, they emerged from the trees to see the last rays of sun colouring the sky. Far below in the darkening valley stood a cottage with light shining from every window. "Look," Victor said, "we're nearly there. You will see your grandparents soon." But Nina was so exhausted she could hardly hear him. See a little house. As they crossed the dark valley, a dog began to bark. A cottage door opened and two silhouetted figures came out to meet them. "Is that you, Victor?" a voice called out. They rode towards the lamplight and Victor passed Nina down to her grandmother's arms. She carried Nina into the warm cottage and held her until she stopped shivering. Then she pulled off Nina's sodden boots and led her to a small bed in the corner of the room. "This was your mother's bed," her grandmother said as she tucked Nina in. "My Anna slept here when she was just a little girl." Nina's sleepy eyes rested on an embroidered orange horse beside the bed. "It's just like mine," she thought dreamily, then sat up in a panic. "Where's Zelda?" she asked. "Did she follow us down the mountain? I tried to keep calling her, but I was so tired." "It's all right," said her grandmother, smoothing Nina's hair. "Zelda is here." Nina pushed back the covers. "I need to see her. Please, can you take me to her?" They hurried through the cold night to the barn. Inside the warm wooden building, the horses stood like marble statues. Nina's grandfather carried pails of water to their stalls, and Victor rubbed Zelda down while she ate steadily. He smiled at Nina, and she could see that the worry had left his face. We've saved them, he said. The stallions are safe. We're all safe. Nina gently rubbed Zelda's ears. And Zelda saved our lives, Nina told her grandparents. She's just an old cab horse, but she saved our lives. Nina combed the tangles from Zelda's mane as the old horse cropped grass beside the cottage. Nina had slept all day and felt half awake and dreamy. As twilight faded, the 4 white stallions grazed peacefully in the valley. Nina thought about their journey over the mountains. They had come so far, and now she was safe with her family. She took the embroidered horses from her pocket and set them on the grass. Now I'm a rider too, she whispered. Zelda rubbed her head gently against Nina's back, and Nina smiled. And that's the end of Running with the Horses. I hope you've enjoyed that very long story. There's the back of the book. It was a really lovely book to illustrate in that different way. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.